Have you ever had this happen to you? You go to bed at a reasonable time and fall asleep just fine. And then suddenly, your eyes open, looking at the clock. It's 3:07 a.m. or 3:21 a.m. or 2:58 a.m. And no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to fall back asleep. At first, you remain calm. But then you start thinking, tossing and turning. You wonder how much sleep you're losing. You think about tomorrow and you check the time again. And before you know it, you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wishing your brain would just switch off. If this sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. In fact, waking up in the middle of the night is one of the most common sleep complaints people have. But why does it happen? And more importantly, why is it so difficult to fall back asleep once you're awake? Today, we are breaking down some of the most common reasons behind those frustrating 3 a.m. wake-ups and what your body may be trying to tell you, because the answer might not be what you think. Welcome back to the Radiant Wellness Hub, your go-to space for holistic health, fitness, and self-care inspiration. One of the biggest misconceptions about sleep is that we are supposed to stay asleep continuously from the moment our head hits the pillow until morning. In reality, brief awakenings during the night are completely normal. Most people wake up several times without even remembering it. The difference is that they fall back asleep so quickly that it never becomes a problem. But when you wake up and stay awake, that's when things get frustrating. And one reason this happens is stress. Now, before you click away thinking, it's always stress, hear me out. Stress doesn't just affect you during the day, it often follows you into the night. Maybe you've had a busy week, or there's something you're worried about. Maybe your mind has been carrying more than usual lately. Even if you're not actively thinking about those things before bed, your body still knows they're there. And sometimes, that tension shows up at 3 a.m. Have you ever noticed that the thoughts that seem manageable during the day suddenly feel enormous in the middle of the night? A simple problem becomes a major crisis, while a small concern feels overwhelming. That's because everything feels louder when you're lying awake in a quiet room at 3 a.m. And once your mind starts spinning, sleep can feel impossible. But stress isn't the only reason people wake up. Sometimes the problem starts earlier in the evening. Think about your habits before bed. Do you usually scroll through your phone until the moment you fall asleep? Watch intense shows, check emails, work late? Many of us go straight from stimulation to sleep without giving our minds a chance to slow down. Imagine driving a car at full speed and expecting it to stop instantly. It doesn't work that way. Your brain often needs time to transition into a restful state. And when it doesn't get that opportunity, sleep can become lighter and more easily interrupted. Another common reason for waking up in the middle of the night is alcohol. Now, this surprises a lot of people because alcohol can make you feel sleepy. In fact, it often helps people fall asleep faster. But falling asleep and staying asleep are two different things. Many people find themselves waking up a few hours later after drinking, even if they initially felt relaxed. That's one reason why a night that seemed like it should lead to great sleep can actually leave you feeling tired the next day. Then there's something many people rarely consider: blood sugar fluctuations. Have you ever had a very sugary dessert late at night? Or gone to bed after eating a heavy meal? For some people, these habits can affect how stable their sleep feels throughout the night. The body is constantly working to maintain balance, and what we eat close to bedtime can sometimes influence that process. And speaking of things happening inside the body while we sleep, let's talk about caffeine. Many people underestimate how long caffeine can stay in the system. You may feel perfectly fine drinking coffee in the afternoon, but for some people, that caffeine is still influencing their sleep hours later. That's why two people can have the exact same evening routine, yet one sleeps soundly while the other wakes up at 3 a.m. wondering what's wrong. But what often makes the situation worse is that the moment you realize you're awake, you start checking the clock. And once you see the time, your brain starts doing math. I only have 4 hours left. Now I only have 3.5. If I don't fall asleep soon, tomorrow is going to be terrible. Does it sound familiar? The problem is that worrying about sleep often keeps us awake longer.
The more pressure you put on yourself to fall asleep,
the harder it becomes. It's a bit like trying to force yourself to relax. The effort itself gets in the way. That's why many sleep experts encourage people not to obsess over the clock, because sometimes the anxiety about not sleeping becomes more disruptive than the original wake-up itself. The good news is that waking up occasionally at 3 a.m. doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong, because life happens, stressful weeks happen. The goal should be creating habits that give your body the best chance of resting well. Things like managing stress, creating a calming evening routine, reducing stimulation before bed, being mindful of caffeine later in the day, and paying attention to how your evening habits affect your sleep. Because often, the reason you're waking up at 3 a.m. starts long before 3 a.m. arrives. If you have ever experienced these middle of the night wake-ups, what do you think triggers them most? Stress, overthinking, caffeine, or something else? And if this video helped you better understand your sleep, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's tired of staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video right here on the Radiant Wellness Hub.